AOC unleashed in the House of Representatives yesterday, railing against Republicans on climate change. And now Democrats are applauding all of her arguments, saying, this is how you do it. This is how you make a passionate argument. So tonight, we're going to unpack AOC's arguments and show you why they're all wrong. Let's go.
The concern of the environment as an elitist concern. 1 year ago, I was waitressing in a taco shop in downtown Manhattan. I just got health insurance for the first time a month ago. This is not an elitist issue. This is a quality of life issue.
So first of all, if you just got health insurance, it's because premiums were too expensive for you to afford, right? That is because the elitists in Congress took control of healthcare. When government takes control of healthcare, it stifles competition. When there's no competition, prices skyrocket. Obamacare is to blame for this, and the Democrats are to blame for Obamacare. This has nothing to do with climate change. Next.
You want to tell people that their concern and their desire for clean air and clean water is elitist? Tell that to the kids in the South Bronx, which are suffering from the highest rates of childhood asthma in the country. Tell that to the families in Flint, whose kids have their blood is ascending in lead levels. Their brains are damaged for the rest of their lives. Call them elitist.
Two is not a matter of climate change. It's a problem with government corruption. When you put government in charge of anything, they will ruin it. The solution is less government, get government out of the way, not turn everything over to government. Our healthcare, our transportation, our education, our salaries, our jobs, our energy sector, like you propose. Look at Flint and imagine the corruption of the government officials like those. Imagine if they were in charge of your medical decisions. Next.
People are dying. They are dying, and the response across the other side of the aisle is to introduce an amendment 5 minutes before a hearing in a markup. This is serious.
There is no evidence that people are dying due to climate change. None. The United Nations predicted that millions would die, but there is zero proof that this ever actually happened. Southern California was supposed to be underwater, the left told us. Fake news. Millions of climate refugees flooding the West, the left told us. Fake news. Polar bears are dying. Fake news. The Earth will be uninhabitable by the year 2000, Democrats warned. Fake news. Why should we believe your fear-mongering now when you have been wrong every single time in the past? AOC also tweeted to add to this point. She said 3,000 people are dead in Puerto Rico. There are two problems with this. One, the study that you're referring to that said 3,000 people were killed by Hurricane Maria was a projection from George Washington University. It was not an official death certificate count. The study projected that 3,000 number by calculating the average number of deaths in the past 7 years over that same 3-month space. The average was 14,000. The year of the hurricane, the number was 17,000. So the study extrapolated, saying, well, the hurricane killed those extra 3,000. But they did not consider the variance, meaning half of the 7 years whose average was 14,000 had a death count of more than 14,000, right? That's how averages work. Some years higher, some years lower. But the study ignored the years higher than 14,000 and assigned all of the 3,000 deaths to the hurricane. So their methodology was junk. Number two, the UN says there is little to no correlation between climate change and severe weather events anyway. You can read that for yourself in the UN IPCC report from this year. So your entire premise then, that people are dying due to climate change, is not based on science. It's based on what you want to believe. And that brings us to the final point.
Are facing a national crisis.
If we are facing a national crisis due to climate change, if you believe what you peddle, if the world is going to end in 12 years, if kids are dying due to climate change, then why did Democrats all vote present on the Green New Deal when they had the chance to vote yes? If it's a crisis, why not act? The answer to that is obvious. Every point AOC makes to justify her Green New Deal and give government complete control of our lives is faulty, unscientific, fake news, or just plain ignorant. And that is my final point.